Yeah, excited to bring Devil's Halo out to the ballpark tomorrow night. So debuting in its can form at Phoenix Muni and Farrington. So really proud of this one. This was fan feedback driven, right? We introduced Devil's Halo at football season last fall, Mountain America Stadium. Heard the feedback that, hey, it'd be great to have a local brewery. It'd be great to have it in package form. So available in the spring. We'll start this weekend here at Muni and Farrington, and then bring it to Desert Financial and Mullet Arena the rest of the spring, and then we'll have it all over football in the fall. Trying to get it into grocery, C-stores, gas stations as soon as we can, but really thankful for Huss Brewing, Sun Devil-led brewery, local company, Crescent Crown distributors who've also been a big part of it, and big win. So excited to have this out there.
And can you remind us kind of how it works with the NIL structure?
Yeah, a portion of the proceeds will go back to the Signage Collective. So on the can it says every sip supports the Sun Devil. Nice little tagline there. And so proceeds go to the collective. Collective will reinvest it into our athletes through community programs, and the more that we sell, the more that we can reinvest. So trying to play to the volume there. Yep.
The increased number of scholarships next year, how much do you think that'll kind of level the playing field for you guys against big programs, a lot of NIL?
Well, I think it's a really big statement that we're putting 34 scholarships into baseball. And as that roster cap evolves, making sure that our coaching staff can compete nationally for the best talent in America, we're trying to get the shine back to Sun Devil baseball in all the ways that we can. And so we have a history of developing players very well in this program. We want to get back to the history of competing for championships alongside that. And I haven't heard anybody else that's making that commitment to baseball in forms of scholarship. We'll have access to rev share as well. Where else would you want to play? We're outside in the middle of February right now. These guys get daily developmental opportunities. They're learning from big league coaches. We have one of the best fan bases in America. We're proud of the venue. We put several $1 million into the ballpark this offseason, and so we want it to be a statement to the country that we're trying to get Sun Devil baseball back to its heights as soon as we can, and that starts with having the best talent in the nation attracted to come play for these coaches.
Talking about the money put in the stadium to make improvements, what are some of those improvements that have been made, and what are some that are going to be made in the future?
Yeah, we started this offseason. We redid the sport lights, so we've got LED sport lights from Musco that will debut. I think you're going to get a sneak preview of a little light show here momentarily. We're in the process of redoing the audio throughout the stadium as well, and so as we've done in a number of our venues, focusing on fan experience and creating a better game day, environmentally, the food and beverage, the entertainment around all of our sports. So we wanted to continue that effort here at Phoenix Muni as well. What I'm most excited about here is the Whiteman Family Performance Center, and that we finally got that pitching lab completely decked out. It's got the best technology available. We're fully outfitted. We've got a coaching staff like Jeremy Accardo, our new pitching coach, who's done an unbelievable job using these tools and helping these pitchers get better. I know a lot of the commentary the past couple of weeks has been about the depth of the pitching staff, so we're super excited that that investment in the pitching lab is bearing some immediate results. It's admittedly been a part of our program that's held us back the past few years, and so with Jeremy coming in, leading the charge on our pitching evolution, having tools in our pitching lab that we can really use to go help these elite arms translate that into game performance, very excited about that.
Is there any foreseeable changes to come even more in the future?
Yeah, I mean, we're always open to ideas. We're looking at any different way to help sell a ticket, drive a partnership, create a better game day experience. Phoenix Muni is no different. I think there's a long-term opportunity to make this the best ballpark in the state and combine the fan experience that a lot of people in the Valley are used to at spring training. I got to be a part of Salt River Fields to know that playbook very well, and pair a great game day experience with the most meaningful baseball in the state of Arizona. And Sun Devil baseball matters to a lot of people, and so we want a ballpark that reflects the history of this program, that excites kids and families and young professionals and longtime fans, everybody in between, to come out to the ballpark. And where else would you want to be in the spring than Phoenix Muni or Farrington, enjoying our weather, enjoying these elite programs? And so we've got some ideas that we're going to continue to talk through in terms of what else we can do, driving a better fan experience at the ballpark. Food and beverage is the experience anchor. You've heard me talk about that in a lot of our sports, no different at the ballpark. So, what we did this offseason we think is a starting point. We're very mindful of other ways that we can continue to improve a game day here at Muni.
What are some of the feedback you've gotten from the pitchers on the pitching lab? Obviously, they all love it, but what are some of the specific things that you've heard?
Well, this generation of pitchers is very tuned into data, and they're very tuned into the tweaks and adjustments that they need to make. And a lot of times, having the information is one piece of it, but having a staff that can really use that information and help an athlete translate and use that, it's where somebody like Jeremy Accardo comes in. And so him being a big league pitcher himself, him working in the major leagues as a major league pitching coach, and then also on the player development side, I think it's been the perfect marriage of having the physical resource and a pitching lab, having all the technology, all the tools that we need, but more importantly, having staff in the program that can directly use that information to help our pitchers get better. A lot of times you say you can't have too many socks in the top drawer, right? Like we want these guys to go execute and be free and easy. So you need staff that can take that data, as intricate and complicated as it is, and simplify it in a way that the pitchers can respond to. And so we're lucky with Jeremy here. The Mayo Clinic has been a huge part of that effort for us. ASU's College of Health Solutions is right there with us. We have a number of people even beyond the baseball program and athletics that are able to be part of the resource that we're using in this pitching lab. And so these guys know they're getting better. And when you hear Ben Jacobs make a statement a couple weeks ago about this is the year that hopefully we also become a pitching school, I think that tells you that they're valuing the input, they're valuing the experience, and they're valuing the coaches that can help them use all this to get better.
And is there any plan to kind of get some of that data that you're getting in the bullpen onto the field, or is that possible?
In terms of more for fan benefit?
No, just for like the players, like the in-game
Yeah.
reads, all that stuff.
Yeah, we've got, and I'll let the coaches talk on that more than I'm aware, but we've decked out Phoenix Muni beyond the pitching lab. So our batting cages, the main stadium have a number of motion capture and video systems now that allow all of our coaches to have good baseline information that we can use to understand weekend to weekend, season to season, how these guys are progressing and what tweaks we can make. And that's half the battle, right? You need great coaches, but you need great resources to really help these guys unlock their full potential. And we've been mindful of bringing all that to the table.
Graham, I know there's a lot of excitement about baseball season getting started, but there's been some rumors recently surrounding basketball coach Bobby Hurley and kind of his future at ASU. Can you share any updated thoughts?
Yeah, no rumors. He's our coach, and we're going to support him, and we're going to keep pouring every bit of energy we can in to make sure that Sun Devil basketball, both men's and women's, competes at the highest level. And so we're in the middle of the season right now. We're focused on getting these guys ready for Saturday. There's no rumors, in my opinion. We've got coaches that are working very hard, leading these programs, and we're going to continue to pour our energy into their ability to be successful.
Seeing this program and how close it's been to getting to the field of 64 in the last 3 years, what have kind of your and Willie's conversations been going into this season about getting this program back to where it's historically been?
Well, a lot of the conversation is what are the things that we're missing, what are the things that we need to invest in, and I think this offseason is where you saw that commitment come true in terms of making some really significant tweaks to the coaching staff, bringing in more great baseball minds that not only know the game at the highest level, but can teach and translate that in a way that the current team will respond. This is definitely the most talented roster that he's had in his 4 seasons. It's deep in ways that we haven't experienced. There's a healthy culture where they're competing, they're pushing each other, and the landscape is different. I remember there was a time when I was in the program that not making a regional wasn't even something that you'd ever imagine, and now the landscape's changed, and it is harder. There's over 300 Division I programs that are making a commitment to baseball because the profile is growing and universities are seeing how significant this sport can be at a national level. You've also got a Major League Draft that's 20 rounds where it used to be 40 rounds, which means there's just a lot more talent that's entered the sport, and it's admittedly created parity in a way that we maybe haven't had to compete with at ASU. But again, we're going to take a big step forward this year. I'm certain of the pieces that are in place, and now we need to go execute the plan this spring, get back in that NCAA tournament, and then keep incrementally pushing deeper and deeper. So he's very focused on it. We've had very honest conversations about what are the missing links. Again, I think this offseason we were able to address a lot of those, and we can't wait to get the season going tomorrow night.
What makes this a successful season in your mind? Is it Omaha or bust, pretty much?
That's always the expectation. And anybody who's been around ASU athletics or Sun Devil baseball, this is an Omaha or bust program, and we're not willing to relinquish that as the standard. The journey to get there is more challenging than it's ever been before, but we welcome that reality, and I don't ever want to compromise the standard of being in that national conversation, being able to compete for deep tournament runs, and getting back to Omaha as quickly as possible. That doesn't mean it's a failure if we miss that goal, but we're focused on expectations, and we want the pressure, we want the high goals and expectations of what we're doing in baseball and all of our programs, and so we're trying to chart a course everywhere we can to get to that promised land, get to that ultimate destination, and not try to ease our way into the conversations. The college football playoff maybe wasn't a stated goal, but you've got competitive people that want to go unleash our potential and compete at the highest level. And when you see a sport like football that kind of came out of nowhere to accomplish that, it really makes you understand the culture and the hard work and the energy that goes into those outcomes. And I'm sensing a lot of that here in baseball and softball this spring, and excited to see how softball, off to a really good start, continues to do, and then baseball getting going tomorrow night as well.
Cam Scatterdo is the only Sun Devil going to Indy. What has he done for this program, and what will he bring to an NFL program?
I couldn't be higher on Cam Scatterboo, and my recommendation to any NFL general manager is that he's a difference maker in your organization, and he's going to compete on the field, but he's going to make those around him better every single day. And so we can't wait to watch what he does in the combine, getting ready for the draft. We're so proud of what Scat has meant for the university. He's earned this. He's earned every bit of the opportunity that comes his way. He's a legendary Sun Devil based on the 2 years that he had here in Tempe, and we can't wait to watch what he does next. But just very proud of him and how he's represented the university, how he's opened up all of these conversations for us across the nation, and that he's put Sun Devil football back on the map in a way that few players could have. So just very proud.
You guys have seen a couple of successes in the first conference in the first year in the new conference. How important is it for baseball and just all the sports to hit the ground running for the Big 12?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's important that we get on strong footing in the conference. The Big 12, I found it to be very collaborative. We had a conference call this morning, so we're together as a conference a lot talking about how do we collectively build the brand of the Big 12. That's very important at this exact moment in college sports, where there's a lot of jockeying for position across the Power Four or all of Division I, and so we're very conscious of making sure that collectively all 16 institutions are doing our part to drive that conversation. But it's also important that we're successful within the Big 12. And what I get the most joy and satisfaction out of this job so far is watching our coaches push each other in ways that are healthy and responsible. I oftentimes talk about it's like a group of friends where you're pushing each other and you want to outdo each other, but you also want to lift up the entire group. And so seeing our head coaches collaborate, seeing their staffs collaborate and really compare notes. We're all trying to recruit to ASU. We're all trying to lead 18 to 22-year-olds in a very complicated time in the world. We're all trying to bring success to ASU in the work that we're doing, and so they benefit from that perspective. They benefit from that time together and understanding each other's journeys and having that success. And volleyball and football winning the Big 12, swim and dive coming up in a couple weeks, wrestling in a couple weeks. We'll get into the heart of gymnastics and baseball, softball tournaments, track and field, golf and tennis later this spring. We're in a really good position. I think we've got 11 or 12 of our programs in the top 25 right now, 5 of them in the top 10, including the ones that wrapped up in the fall. And so there's this spirit of success and competition that's happening in the department right now that I'm very excited by, mostly because these coaches and sports are pushing each other in a great way. So excited for that.
How did these new upcoming changes with rev sharing and scholarship increase impact the widespread athletic department as a whole?
In what regard?
And just like, what's that going to change from what is currently happening?
Well, it creates incredible opportunity for us. And the fundamental changes of what could be coming this summer if this agreement and settlement moves forward, NIL becoming commercial intent, fair market value, that's what it was always intended to do. Never been a better time to be in a major metropolitan market where you have access to decision makers and brands and companies big and small, and our ability to tap into that for NIL is there, and we're very focused on it. The rev share, we're going to be a full participant. We're ready to adapt to that new reality in college sports, and then the opportunity to invest in scholarships across all of our sports. We've announced baseball going to the full 34. We're going to be adding significantly to all of our sports, and we'll get into the details of that at another time. But we look at it as an opportunity to put all of our sports in a position to have success in a national conversation. And now that we have roster caps, but there's also no limitations on the investment that we can make in scholarships, we see that as a tremendous opportunity because they are still students before they're athletes. And the president has been very clear on, I want to invest in the student part of the student athlete now more than ever. And so we want them to be successful competing and representing ASU, but more importantly, we want them to be successful as young people. We want them to come to ASU and not have the stress of loans or financial aid and really know that there's an investment into their journey. And so we can create our own destiny in that regard. And when we can say, we're not just committed to the growth of football and basketball, those are incredibly important to us, but we have 26 sports that are incredibly important to ASU, building a brand globally, to having success in all of our sports, adding value to the Big 12, and that's why we're going to be adding significantly to a number of our sports and scholarships. It also means we've got to run a better business, as we've been talking about, so we're really focused on the business unit of Sun Devil Athletics, connecting with our fan base, selling more tickets, driving more partnerships, building a bit bigger donor base so we can make that reinvestment into all of our sports. And so, in my opinion, it's all full circle. We're trying to build a better game day for our fans, to attract more fans into our venues and stadiums, and then all those resources we're reinvesting into young people and the athletic abilities of all of our sports.